we had talked about this way that you can now map responses to fields and speak. And that was a culmination of a bunch of different features. We added fields first, and then we added the chat, then we added automation. And then finally we added, hey, when you get a response, let's map it to the field. And we walk through how you could do a multi-selection of file or an entire folder, run that analysis, and then map it to the field. In this case, we streamline this even more. And this speaks to the ROI calculators that we walked through at the beginning. Still that sort of manual selection. While it was streamlined, it was fast. This just makes it even quicker. What does that actually look like? Simply, you're doing the same thing as if you were doing the AI chat, but all you're doing is instead, for example, if you wanted to extract questions every single time, you would still do the same thing, the chat prompt. You would pick your assistant. Let's say it's Aria's assistant. We could say what questions were asked, and then all you have to do in the final step is just map that response to the field that you want. Now, I don't think I have a questions asked in this case, but as an example, we could put this into standardized themes. And then now if I update this, every single time a file is uploaded to focus group, that analysis is going to run and it's going to be mapped to that field. Aria, anything to add here?
I feel like this is a very great feature, especially like people who are dealing with like interviews and focus groups, or let's say the ones that are dealing with like survey data, because this was an actual customer question that they were asking me, like, how can I get only the answers from the participants of an interview? So by just running this automation, you can get those answers, and the AI is not gonna put its opinion on it. It's just the answer that is gonna get captured. So it's another great addition that we have over here.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if you have any other use cases that we've seen. One has been automatic grading and assessment of calls for training sessions and way that people are submitting, either uploading or through the embeddable recorder. We've seen question extraction. We've seen theme identification, and walk through that. There's a great video and walkthrough guide on how you can quantify themes. Any other use cases that you're seeing with the map to field and the automation connection?
Another use case I have seen is that like people were asking me that like at the beginning of the interview, people usually introduce themselves. Like they say like, you know, who they are, how old they are, and where they're from. So like another use case I've seen is that they create fields for city, country, age, gender, and then they will just run automations to just grab those and then put it into those fields, which is like another great addition.
Yeah, that's a very cool, you're almost like automatic form filling at that point. And then you can take, we have it in the slide here, but you can export to CSV, or you can use our Zapier or API and basically pull that data and put it somewhere else. Just today there was an extraction using the field, and it was identifying if company names were mentioned in that file. And to identify that manually, you'd have to do a bunch of searching. You'd have to even maybe know the company that you were looking for in that data. And now with the intelligence of AI, it can understand the way that a sentence is formed, the capitalization of that word, how someone's talking about it. Okay, this is a company, let's extract it and populate it into that field. So just another great use case. And as you mentioned, you're not limited to the amount of automations that you can run. Aria mentioned like one was for age, one's for gender. You can have all those automations stacked together and then create those outputs into the fields. And what's really great is we've talked about this embeddings infrastructure on the past. If you've pulled that, it's not like you're re-looking at the entire transcript again. You're just pulling the relevant information to help you produce that answer. So you're still streamlining that process amazingly, but you're not racking up this huge cost through multiple automations at once.